Good morning. Welcome to the Special Director Services Select Committee of Wednesday, February 27th. I'd like to acknowledge that we are on the traditional territory of the Coast Salish people, and many of us here are wearing our pink shirts in awareness of Anti-Bullying Day. First, we have approval of the agenda, but I would like to ask if there's a motion to amend the agenda and remove R1. And second, all in favor? Motion carried. So approval of the agenda as amended. First, moved and second, all in favor? Motion carries. Maybe that was redundant, but here we go. Adoption of the minutes. Next. Second, all in favor? Motion carries. Business arising from the minutes, we have nothing. Public input period. Nope, public's busy. Delegation, correspondence, reports, now we're on R2. Mrs. Mohan, thank you.
Through the chair, I was able to get some information yesterday regarding a potential group plan for elected officials through some of the major carriers. And I just want to confirm that everybody has received that information and has it at hand to look at, because that's most of what we'll be discussing. So as of the last meeting, there was a motion passed to enroll everybody as, the elected area directors in the UBCM plan as sort of a UBCM enhanced plan as a fallback in case we didn't receive this information in time. But we have received some information. So despite the fact that we have enrolled everybody, we do have an opportunity to counsel if a different decision is made about benefit coverage for elected officials. And so with that, I wanted to point out to you some of the features of the quote that we got on a plan for elected officials. So the quoted rates are actually from Manulife, who is our current benefits carrier. But as we are out to market right now on our benefits plan, our benefits agent has reassured me that all the major carriers are willing to front a similar plan and would basically extend the same rates of coverage to the elected officials that they are extending to our employee group. But there are some conditions to that. Also, the second tier carriers, so some of the smaller insurance carriers that might have quoted on our group business, they wouldn't be able to offer this, meaning that if the board chose to go with one of these plans, we would be restricted in our choices around benefits carrier for the whole CVRD to some of the major carriers like Great-West Life, Sun Life, or Manulife, all of which I believe have quoted on our plan, but I haven't had time to look at those results. They were given to me late yesterday. So that being said, some of the conditions around creating a group plan for elected officials, they are on the back side of, or the second page of the table, the blue table. And so you will see that because it's a group plan, all of the elected officials would have to enroll, including the municipal directors. It was recognized that municipal directors may have coverage for health and dental in other ways. And in fact, anybody might have coverage through a spouse, and there is an option to opt out of the health and dental portion of the plan, but there's no option to opt out of the life and AD&D coverage. So everybody would have to be part of the AD&D and life insurance coverage. So that is generally the cheapest part of a plan, and so the information is in the costing around what it would cost to have all of the elected officials, both the electoral area and the municipal directors, as part of the life insurance premium, but that the health and dental premium would only apply to those who opted into that. So, and in order to opt out, you would have to be able to prove that you had health and dental coverage elsewhere. The other thing is that these group plans are going to require that the CVRD make assurances that elected officials are working at least 20 hours a week. And so, in turn, we would be asking for the elected officials to be confirming with their signature that they work at least 20 hours a week in their role. But beyond that, they were able to consider the elected officials as part-time employees and offer them this plan. With respect to the life insurance is usually indexed to salary, and because that's not appropriate for this group, The life insurance option is a flat rate option. There are 2 levels of coverage. I have given you the costing on the highest level of coverage, which is a $50,000 policy. There is a $25,000 policy available, but it's not available by individual. The whole group would have to decide either on a $50,000 level of coverage or a $25,000 level of coverage. And finally, the life insurance coverage would not be available to any directors over the age of 70, and there are at least 3 in our group that are over the age of 70, so that would not be an available benefit to those elected officials. And with that, I think the rest of what I had to share is really a comparison of the benefit offering through the major carrier like Manulife versus what's available on the UBCM plan. And you will notice that it's significantly improved, specifically in the areas of vision. So it's a $700 benefit every 2 years. And also in the paramedical coverage. So paramedical coverage would be $200 combined for podiatrist and chiropodist, a $1,200 combined benefit for physiotherapy, massage, chiropractic, and athletic therapy, a $500 combined for psychologists, speech pathologists, and occupational therapy, and a $600 combined for acupuncture and naturopathy. So those paramedical coverages far exceed the offerings from the UBCM plan, as does the vision coverage. Everything else is somewhat comparable. The dental plan is 100% reimbursement for regular services and major restorative services instead of 80% or 50%, which is what you'll see in the UBCM plan.
Thank you. Any questions for staff? Director Morrison.
Yeah, sure. Do you have a resolution that we can consider prepared or wording? I'm sort of at the point where if we can tag on to the CVRD's plan, it's a real simple question, and I would move a recommendation if you had one prepared.
I don't have any wording prepared for a resolution at this time. I wasn't clear on the direction of this group. This plan does have some additional costs, and it also requires the willing participation of the municipal directors. So I did not have a resolution prepared.
Director Morrison.
Given the time and effort put into this, and appreciate the work that staff has done, you know, it's clear that the UBCM plan is a fallback plan. I spoke briefly with Ms. Mohan yesterday. The costs are comparable. I think that given the fact that not all of our municipal partners have full coverage, that given this opportunity and the costs being relatively in line, I think that it would be appropriate to move a recommendation forward to the board so that this can be dealt with in a quick fashion, and we move forward. I don't have any concerns with doing that because the employees here are provided with a really good plan, and that if we were to proceed with the what Ms. Mohan has presented today, that would be an enhanced plan to anything that we could get through UBCM. So I'd be interested in moving forward and putting it to the board this afternoon.
So we're going to take that as a motion. Is that sufficient? Okay, Director Stone.
So when you say municipal directors, do you mean the municipal directors at this table or throughout the whole region?
I mean the ones at the CVRD table.
Okay,
yes.
thank you. And so I guess if it's appropriate, Madam Chair, through to the North Cowichan director that's on the committee, do you know if you have, in addition to the health coverage, the AD&D and?
No, we have no life insurance coverage, and actually, the Manulife plan is better than what we've got currently.
So then my final follow-up question then through to Ms. Mohan would be, if the municipal directors are in some sort of term, not relevant to me, of course, but in North Cowichan, if they opted in just for the AD&D in subsequent years when their plan came up, could they then be opted in for the full coverage? Or does that have to be decided for the whole term now?
I believe that first of all, the enrollment wouldn't be, because it's with a private carrier, the enrollment wouldn't be for the whole term.
Okay.
It would just be like any other employee enrollment that might change throughout the year. So I do believe there is an option to be able to enroll in the full benefits and opt out of health and dental if there's other coverage provided in future, or the reverse, where if you opt out at the beginning of the health and dental coverage, in a subsequent year, if you want to then opt in, you likely can do so.
Okay, thank you. So if I may, I would move that, do we need to rescind the previous resolution? That was just saying as a fallback, so I don't believe we would have to. No.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Sorry.
There was no actual motion.
Okay.
Yeah,
It
so.
was just some direction as a
yeah,
fallback.
yeah,
Okay.
okay.
So I would move that the CVRD enroll in the, oh, my thing's moving around here. The carrier plan, i.e. Manulife, for all CVRD elected officials.
Do we have a seconder? Second. I'll call the question. All in favor? Motion carries. And Mrs. Mohan, do we have to separate the life insurance part, the 25,000 and 50,000? Do we need to decide on that right now too, also?
I would say that you do have to decide today. That could be a decision of this committee to make a recommendation to the board on that. But ultimately, because it involves all board members, it would have to be agreed to, the level would have to be agreed to at the board table.
So,
You could recommend it, though, yes.
any questions on that topic? Director
McGarrigle.
Mc-
As
Mc-
the
Mc
previous
something.
chair would call me Mr. McGarrigle, but that's fine. Just for clarification, as North Cowichan and Duncan perhaps are enrolled in the UBCM plan, Lake Cowichan has also enrolled in that, opting out of the AD&D and the life insurance policy. Moving forward, I would hope that collaboratively all municipalities in the regional district could get together and choose one carrier, perhaps the Manulife, in the future, not having a cumbersome structure of payments for different directors at the table. So just moving forward, if this is a temporary plan, for instance, perhaps the administrators in the regional district could get together and amalgamate the plans.
Mrs. Mohan?
Through the chair, we did make inquiries through our benefits agents about an association plan. And so that's the plan that Director Stone was sort of referring to at the last meeting, where you would get all of the elected officials from a number of regions and you would pool together and try and get a plan that covers you. So the response that we got from our agent after making some inquiries was that the UBCM plan is that association plan, and that any smaller group than the UBCM group would likely not be eligible for, or not be attractive to any carrier to take on as an association plan. So the key elements that distinguish what is being proposed here from an association plan is there's a piece around loyalty to this organization. There's a piece around a guaranteed 20 hours of work, which you may not find in other elected officials in other local governments. And so that, and there is a compulsion for everybody to have the life insurance piece. And so those are the three sort of conditions under which Manulife was willing to quote on a plan for CVRD elected officials. But I would suggest that those might be hard conditions to satisfy among a lot of elected officials, and that's precisely why the UBCM has an association plan that has some lesser benefit, because they can't guarantee those things.
Well, thank you for the clarification. Thanks.
Director Marsh? oh, your, oh, microphone, okay, sorry. Mrs. Mohan?
Thank you. Through the chair, I just wanted to make it clear too in the costing, because Director Stone has made a comment around, and Director Marsh have made comments around the possibility that the muni directors might want to opt into the health and dental coverage on this plan, because the coverages are better than what they might be experiencing elsewhere. And I just wanted to point out that the costing I did not include the premiums for health and dental for the municipal directors. It only included the life insurance piece. So if you're looking at those numbers, you're looking at just the life insurance for the municipal directors, not the health and dental for the municipal directors.
Director Stone?
So would staff need more direction then in regards to whether the municipal directors would be opted into the full plan or just the AD&D and life?
Through the chair, yes, for two reasons. One, to enroll people, we would have to know. But if the board is making a decision today and is considering costs, then I would need to know those in advance of the board meeting so that I could revise this spreadsheet to show you what the costs of coverage for health and dental for the muni directors are. So I would need to know that now in order to prepare the information to be able to answer that question at the board meeting.
Director Marsh?
Yes, through you, Madam Chair, to Ms. Mohan. So in order for municipal directors to enroll in this plan, they would have to say they put in 20 hours a week on CVRD business, not municipal business?
That's correct.
Yeah, I couldn't say that I did that, so I don't know about my colleagues, but I doubt any municipal director puts 20 hours a week on purely CVRD business.
So, Mrs. Mohan?
That's an interesting point, and one that I didn't consider, and that might, you're absolutely right, that might make the plan not work. I could make an inquiry in the interim to our benefits agent to ask about, how granular he wants to be around a commitment as an elected official to regional business that includes municipal business, or whether it has to be solely CVRD business, yeah.
If I may follow up.
Marsh?
Yeah, I could say, certainly, I think every North Cowichan director puts at least 20 hours a week in on North Cowichan business. And when it's appropriate, I mean, not everything is, think about the region, but I don't know that that would be that would, I think, be up to the carrier. Yeah. But then, yeah.
Do you need more direction for this afternoon?
Through the chair, no, I think I will definitely pose that question before the board meeting about that commitment to 20 hours from the municipal directors. Yeah. And then I should be able to answer at the board. So.
Any more comments, questions? Okay, moving on. Yes?
Do we still need direction on the life insurance for municipal directors before the board meeting? I would move $50,000 coverage for municipal directors. All directors is what I meant. Age appropriate.
Is there a seconder to that motion? A second. I'll call the question. All in favor? Motion carries. Now moving on. I'd like to just make one quick comment. I think it's great, as many things as we can add to improving and attracting people to this position and to the benefits, I think is great. On to anything for information, unfinished business. Oh, okay, Mr. Kieber.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to remind the committee that after Ms. Mohan discusses it with the carrier, and if we're able to go ahead, that a motion will be required at the board meeting to amend the budget to include these funds. Okay.
Moving on to question period. I don't see anyone from the public at our special meeting. Since we snuck it in there, closed session, nothing, and motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor? Thank you.